going on, Legion? As really like always, and we got some front runner with Hugh Jackman. I have no idea what this is. I haven't seen any commercials. I haven't seen anything about this. All I know is I saw him standing up there and he was talking for a second, and that's when the YouTube video loaded. That was it. With that, though, let's just get into it, check it out, see what it's all about. I'm kind of excited to see what Hugh Jackman's up to. Let's go.
The youngest candidate, Hart spoke at full
campaign frame. The clear front runner.
My name is Gary Hart. I'm running for president. Gary Hart, senator for Colorado, who ran for the presidency in 1987.
I want you to think about the opportunity that we have right here, right now.
Gary had a searing intellect. He also was
say,
a
77?
leader in the best sense of the word.
I've never known a guy more talented at untangling politics so that anyone can understand. And all anybody wants is for him to take a stupid photo.
Gary was a private person. He never felt comfortable with the level of intrusion that was starting to appear.
Senator, I want to ask you some questions about the woman at your townhouse.
He made a big mistake in
Bill Burr?
South.
Can you tell us how you know her?
You can't be serious. No one is staying in my home. There's no need for that.
I am serious, sir.
In 1987, you have satellite trucks and 24-hour news cycles. There was a voracious appetite for news, for stories, and once a story was on, you wouldn't let go.
It's up to us to hold these guys accountable.
In this film, there is no hero and no villain. You see a political campaign.
I hate people like that.
Real, and also
It's up to
very
us
human.
to...
Hide from this. The cameras go everywhere.
You see the chaos, you see the mistakes, you see the flaws.
Just because some other paper used gossip as front page news, I mean, that doesn't mean we have to.
It does. It does now.
And rather than give you easy answers of should he or shouldn't he have been president,
The one thing I asked was that you don't embarrass me.
was the press going too far or not, there was this sense of duty amongst journalists.
He is a man with power, and that takes certain responsibility.
It asks you questions
I'm down,
as an
man.
audience about what is important.
This campaign is about the future, not rumors, not sleaze, and I care about the sanctity of this process, whether you do or do not.
All right, Jackman. I see you, man. What up? It's really cool to see. It's really cool to see people maybe not from the country portraying roles and doing things that have something to do with our whatever's going on in our country. That's always really awesome. First of all, I mean, my opinion of news, maybe back then, maybe it's just because I wasn't alive or conscious of it then, but journalists very much think that it's their obligation, it's the integrity of journalism. I don't see it that way. I think that the journalists, the people at ABC or any of the new NBC, Fox, whatever those people are reporting on TV, Washington Post, New York Times, they're not much better than TMZ, but TMZ is honest about themselves. They do things for the views, and they keep things pretty. When people are posting pictures of Justin Bieber with his dick out, they weren't until Bieber was like, "No, I wanted that to get out," and they're like, "Oh, cool," and they posted it. The people that take telescopic lenses and stuff like that, they're not about that. Funny enough, they actually report on the shitty people, maybe not by name, but they don't report on how he buried taking her daughter to school. They report about how mad she is that these garbage people are doing that. And that's something I find funny when you got the New York Times or the Washington Post or whatever. That a good example is the PewDiePie thing. He said some stupid crap, but most gamers do. Doesn't really reflect on their character, who they are. It just reflects on the stupid decisions they made and the childish behavior they may have. Yet, all the people ran a smear campaign, right? They really screwed up YouTube for a lot of YouTubers, reduced a lot, with all that bigotry coming out, it just fueled the whole adpocalypse situation. I don't view any journalist as important in any way. It is not their obligation to do anything. Because they don't do reporting legitimate in the first place. So how can you say that as a journalist, it's your journalistic integrity to keep this politician, on the straight and narrow, when you saw later on that Doc Ock over there from Spider-Man, whatever, who gives a fuck, was talking about how. The one guy says we don't got to use rumors and stuff, and he says we do now. if that's like a true thing that happened, kind of within that realm of conversations in that real thing, that is the typical conversation you see over at TMZ. You have no journalistic integrity. You are nothing. You're people. And I find that very funny because critics, journalists, nothing makes them superior. A lot of them didn't even go to school for that kind of training. And journalists may be critics. Anybody can be a critic nowadays. But my point of view is that there's a lot of people that do a lot of great things in the world that have, whether it's Gandhi, or let's just say like MLK, Mandela, all those people have done real things that involve real integrity and real beliefs. There's a lot of people that may admire those people that started institutions like journalism that say, this is how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be like the great people that got that news out there. Gandhi, what he did was spreading the word. That is, in fact, the type of spreading the news, saying that we are not going to take this and these people are oppressing us. He wasn't a journalist, of course, but he was doing a protest that gains notice, which is what the news is. What journalists do, they report on something to get it out to the masses. And I think they believe themselves to be more important than they are. And they're really not. They can be bought. They can be scummy. They can do things underhandedly, backroom deals. There's nothing important about a journalist or anything like that. See that? That's the trash. That's the dumpster guy going by for all those journalists just lining up. That's for them. It's just funny, and I hear that. I hear that stupid bitch in this trailer saying it's our duty to keep him in line. It's like, that's funny because he looks like a person, a human being, and so do you. And yet your institution is supposed to either keep him in line and prove that he's on the straight up and up until he gets elected. And then it's his job to look down on you. It's just a very weird system, a weird way we do things in this country, on this planet. That's just kind of my thing. I got kind of triggered, as you may be able to tell, from just what it is. It's self-grandizing. People that believe themselves to be better than the rest. Because those people are the biggest hypocrites and pieces of garbage on the planet. Anybody that believes themselves to be better is worth less. Every human starts out at the same, white, black, or anything in between. Nobody is lifted higher unless they do something, we're talking about Mandela or something like that, putting their own livelihood for the betterment of humanity. Very few people raise the bar. What really happens is most people lower themselves so that we stand above them because they're murderers or rapists. That's usually how real things work. No one really is better. The president, no matter how good any American president has been, I give a shit. I treat him the same way I treat anybody else. Just like how people fawn over celebrities. Give a fuck, man. If I didn't know who you were and you were a celebrity or something like that, or even if you were a celebrity, you came to my house in the middle of the night, I wouldn't let you in to use my phone because that doesn't mean you can't be a serial killer deep down. You're a nobody. You just entertain people like me. I do nothing important. For people that want to tune in and have fun, here they are. And for people that don't, they don't. That's just kind of my take on things. I don't know. People that self-grandize really rub you the wrong way, as you probably can tell. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to stop rambling. This is 8 minutes. This is 6 minutes longer than it probably should have been. If you stayed at the very end, you agree, you disagree, it's all good, man. You're supposed to be able to have a conversation even when you don't agree. If you're an American and you're somebody that gets angry and yells at somebody you don't agree with, well, there you go. That's why our political system doesn't work, because you're part of that problem. So don't bring that problem into my comment section. If you want to have a discussion, you want to say that I'm wrong or you have a different belief, hey, man, that's cool. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Once again, my name is Azrael. I'll see you whatever video I'm doing next. Later, guys.